welcome to Philly Philly. I live stream. I actually also do shorts, but most of my bread and butter is live streaming. And so if you see my videos, those are from past live streams. So, you know, depending upon who's on, you might notice some conversation. So if it ever gets confusing, that's why, because they all, almost all of them start within a live stream. Sometimes I do make separate video content, but typically this is kind of what I do. So welcome to my channel. Today, we are going to be focusing on Easter. Easter is tomorrow, and not everyone celebrates Easter. We do celebrate Easter here in our household, and I'm making two foods that I think are perfect for Easter, and I'll tell a little bit about them in a second. But I would be remiss if I didn't mention a loss that we've had recently. So any of you that come on my streams, you're used to seeing our old pup, our elder pup, Shelby. She loves food. Oh my goodness, that girl is so food driven, and she's always been that way. And so whenever I would be cooking in the kitchen, from the time we got her until her last day here with us, she always follows me in the kitchen, and she's looking for anything that I could possibly drop. And then sometimes, you know, we might give her something special. So so we had to say goodbye to Shelby last Sunday. She was not doing well. We had found earlier that week that she had a big mass that was in her lower area, and because of the weight she lost, you know, we figured it was, and the vet figured it was probably cancer, and we honestly didn't want to put her through anything else, and so we didn't want to investigate, because she was over 13 years old. She'd lived an amazing life and had brought so much joy to our family. So we are missing her terribly. This is my first stream since she passed, and I'm thinking about her a lot, and I wanted to remember her because she was such, you'd hear click, 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 because her nails were always long. No matter how I would trim them, they would drive Hubs crazy because you'd hear the click, click, click. So I did want to light a candle in her honor, because Shelby, I know you're in a better place, and you have like the run of it right now. Your body's working like it did as a pup now, and you're enjoying yourself, and I'm sure you're running around with Ralph, your best friend. So I did want to light a little candle for my sweet Shelby, because I am thinking about her. I think about her every day, but especially today with cooking and missing her, because she won't be coming in the kitchen. So I just wanted to make sure and have a little bit of time for that. So
Greg and DS.
Oh no, it's not showing on my chat. Oh, okay. Hi Greg, hi DS. Okay, so you know what I'm going to do? I am going to go bring my laptop, because when my son and I figured out all the tech issues, we updated, I got together, and we figured everything out except for this occasional lapse, but my chat isn't showing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring my laptop, because I know I can read it. It's a little delayed. Do you want to grab that for me? It's right there. And we'll put it right here. So welcome. I just figured I was talking into the abyss. So welcome, Greg. Welcome, DS. I'm excited about this stream today. Oh, thank you guys. Yeah, I saw a blank screen. So again, apologizing for any of the glitching. It is the nature of this. It's not business, but
and Archie's on too.
Oh, hey Arch. Okay, I gotta get my chat on, because I can't see any of you right now. So let me get myself up so I can say hello. So let me get a screen here, because otherwise y'all gonna be chatting without me, and I'm gonna miss out on all the fun. And you know me, I enjoy the chat fun. So if anyone watching, especially if you're watching this later as a video, do not know about live streaming, you should come on to our live stream sometime, because it really is fun being live with a cook. You just kind of, I don't know, you just get to have fun and chit chat, and it's a blast. Okay, so let me go to my channel. Bear with me here. So let's see here, friends, get to here and get this on so I can be in this conversation. Let's see here. Okay, let me make sure my volume is down, or that's going to create total chaos. So volume down. There we go. Okay, let me scooch this over here, and I can see what I've been missing. Let's see here. Okay, it's loading up. Let me put this over here. That way I can see. Oh, you guys are the best. I'm just reading your messages. Thank you, Greg. Thank you. We miss her every day. The beginning was super rough, as you can imagine. And then I know some days will be rougher than others, but literally think about that sweet girl every day. I miss her every day. And Arch, please give a big hug to Amy. I get it. I absolutely get it. All right. So hi, everybody. Yay! My favorite three musketeers, right? So I'm so glad you guys are on. So let me tell you a little bit about the recipes. So this is how it's going to go. We're going to start with getting the Basque cheesecake going, because when the Basque cheesecake is cooking in the air fryer, then I'm going to make my favorite deviled eggs recipe. So, and I'll tell you more about that recipe once we get to it, but it is a recipe that my niece actually had made for Easter many years ago, and it became a fast favorite. Now, in our city especially, I don't know how it is where you all live, but deviled eggs is something that you will find on appetizers sometimes. It just became a thing. It's kind of not as big a thing now, but maybe, I don't know, 5 to 10 years ago, you just found them popping up as appetizers, and the chefs would put their spin on them. In fact, there was one place we went, and I don't recall the name of it, but I think you got 3 different versions of deviled eggs. Like there were 3 different eggs, and it was, well, you know what? I just love what chefs do. I love what cooks do. I love the creativity. So I'm always up for a try. But this recipe in particular, I find to be lighter, and I'm not even talking calories. It just has such a great, clean, light taste that to me, it's a favorite, especially to give to someone who thinks they don't like deviled eggs. If someone says to you, I do not like deviled eggs, or maybe you don't like deviled eggs, you should try this recipe because it is phenomenal. So I'm gonna leave it at that. We'll tell more later. But first, this Basque cheesecake. I've been seeing it all over social media. It's just been kind of something that I've been noticing. Different YouTubers that I follow that cook or they're chefs, and I've seen it just on Twitter and different places. So I was very intrigued. I love a cheesecake, and what's nice is we're going over to my sister's for Easter. We're actually going to go out to a restaurant. Neither one of us really felt like cooking this year, but I'm bringing the deviled eggs as appetizers before we go, and then we're going to have this Basque cheesecake afterwards. And what's nice is my sister is gluten-free, so this will be great because it's naturally gluten-free. So very excited about that. In any event, have you guys heard about the Basque cheesecakes? And let me see, I'm missing out on my chatting. Let's see here. It was dinner time here 5 minutes ago. So frankly, I don't care what you cook. I'm not hungry anymore. So that's a good place to be, right, Arch? And Andy is here. Yes, he's chatting in the back right now on the phone. And yes. Actually, you know what, Arch? Give him props. He was actually going to take a walk. So, but yes, he'll come on and say hi. This is kind of a stream that's more boring for him because he's not as fascinated with recipes. He just likes to eat at the end, right? So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get our pan ready. So it's ready to go once we have our cheesecake mixture set. Now, to make it work in the air fryer, we need to use a smaller pan. And what's cool is I got this recipe from the King Arthur site. And I also saw a YouTuber that I follow, Emmymade, make it as well. So it was really nice seeing both things. Oh, when you're done, friends would love you to say hi, babe. He's on the phone. So I bought these. These were, when I bought my air fryer, this was just on Amazon. And if anyone would be interested in knowing this link, I could always, if you put a little message below, I can drop it down below. And maybe I'll even just drop it in the description later. I do have the recipe link for the King Arthur site right below there. But these are about 6-inch and about 2 inches deep round pans. Now you can make this in just one. A springform would be great. A typical springform pan would be perfect for this batter. But if you divide in 2, it fits these perfectly. That's what they tell me. So the trickier part is to get it to be true Basque-like. And so I'm going to take a tip from Emmymade. So I appreciate that. In fact, I will make sure and put her link down below too, because she helped me feel very comfortable doing this. So what she recommended doing is you get some parchment paper, and these are just lovely sheets that I get. I have both the ones you stretch out and these ready-made sheets, and you crumple it up first of all, so be ready for some noise. See what you're all saying. Here we call Andy a complete tart. That's right. Known as burnt cheesecake as well. Thank you, DS, for that. Is it keto friendly? That is a good question. I'm not sure. Oh, Matthew, welcome. Eggs and cheesecake for Easter tomorrow is a perfect combination. Oh, Dad, hello. How are you? Thanks for coming on. Thanks for coming on. So yes, so this is, and I would say Mom and Dad, because I know they always come on as joint. So I crumpled up my parchment paper, and then I'm gonna just open it back up, and the crumpling it up enables it to mold better to the pan here. So that's why I crumpled it up. I wasn't just upset or something. So I'm gonna take this. Yes, it is, Mom. Thank you, thank you. Let me see if all right, so then when you do that, you can get it inside a lot easier. So then what I'm just gonna do is, in fact, let me get one thing real quick. Just so we're not clunking around. This is just a little pot holder, it's like silicone, I'll just keep it still. So then I wanna get into the edges here with this, and then fold the paper around there. And what happens when you do this is you give the Basque cheesecake that classic look around the edges, because if you've ever looked up these cheesecakes, they definitely have a more rustic look to them. Besides, as Dia said, that burnt top, they have a more rustic look on the edges, because traditionally they do have this parchment paper that lines around there. So that is what I'm gonna do first, is I'm just smoothing it. I'm keeping my one hand down in the edges, and then I'm just kind of wrapping the extra stuff around. And then I'm gonna trim some of this, because in an air fryer, or frankly, even in your oven, I do wanna keep some of the extra parchment a little short, because while I'm not cooking this, I think this actually burns at like 500. I'm not cooking it that high. It could get a little brown. So it's kind of nice not to have a ton of extra. So let me show you what I've done here. Okay, so then you can see right there. And again, crumpling it makes the paper so much more moldable. And then I'm just gonna get some scissors, and I think I did not put them right over there. And I'm just gonna trim them. Trim off the extra. Now you don't have to do this, but I'm gonna do it just because in my air fryer, I have made the mistake of putting in parchment paper, because I was gonna use it maybe to help with stickiness of whatever I was cooking. And then I would preheat my air fryer, and I'd forget that I'd already put my parchment paper, and then I would start smelling something burning. And I'd be like, oh no, and I'd go in, and sure enough, what happens is if you put a piece of parchment paper in your air fryer without food on it, when the air whirs, it rises to the top and goes against the heating element. So then I'd have these circles on the parchment paper. So don't do that. Don't do that. I always have caught it. I've only done it twice. Good thing Hubs went for a walk, because he would be very upset to hear that. But yeah, so see here, we have just a nice little nonstick. Now, I read in the recipe that you don't have to do this. You could just use nonstick. You could use a liner. When I bought these, actually, these came with it, which are just kind of adorable, I must say. They're for the air fryer, and they have these little tabs, and you can just put the circle in there. It fits perfectly. So I was thinking I might do it both ways. Now, the one I'm gonna use today for Hubs and I to try if it cools enough is this one, because that way I know I'll be able to get it out of the container without it ruining. But this is the one then I thought that I would bring to Easter tomorrow. So that's what we're gonna do. So I'm not gonna do any spray here because they do recommend spraying with cooking spray or putting butter on the edges. I'm gonna wait because that tends to drop. I'm gonna wait till we get a little closer. But now my pans are ready, which is good. So let me see what I've missed. Where is the front of your cabinet? So that is where our drawer is, Mom, and no, we have not figured it out yet. We still need to get together with Glenn and try to do it ourselves or pay someone to fix it. But yeah, it's the bane of my existence right now, to be honest with you. It just drives, every time I wake up, I'm like, oh, you're still not fixed. But you know what? Life is short, right? So, yes, Archie, people visit the stream just to see the cabinet front void. It is. It's cult status. And you know what? Maybe I should have a giveaway. I won't announce when it's fixed. I will, whoever mentions on the stream first when it's fixed, I think I should do that. I should think of a giveaway. So I'm going to think, that's a great idea, Arch, of just the cult status thing. I'm going to think of a giveaway. So I'm not even going to let you know when we're going to fix it. And the first person to comment that it's fixed, and I got to think about what I'm going to give away. So let me think on that. It's got to be something Philly related. So that's what we're going to do. Okay. It's more famous than Hubs. I know, right? It's absolutely. It should have its own Twitter page. I think it's a grand idea. All right. So we have our 2 pans. We're going to put them aside. And now we're going to get our batter ready. So the batter is super simple. And again, what's nice is it's naturally gluten-free. And the batter goes there. Consists of 3 packages of cream cheese, 1.5 cups sugar, 1/2 teaspoon salt, 5 large eggs, and 3/4 cup heavy cream. So for our recipe, we're going to be dividing it in half, and it'll make 2 wonderful Basque cheesecakes. So I'm really excited about that. So let me throw this away and go get my cream cheese. So it didn't mention whether it should be softened or not, and so I made a judgment that it will, because you want this lump free. So I thought, you know what? I didn't leave it out for hours, but I did put it out to get it to soften a bit. And actually I have all my ingredients sitting out a little bit just to come to room temperature, because a lot of the times that I was given are based on a more room temperature mixture going into the air fryer. So let me go grab those real quick. Grabbing my cream cheese. I don't know the last time I've purchased 3 bricks of cream cheese, so that's what's going in first. Now, as I mentioned, I think I can just do this. As I mentioned, it needs to be smooth. So what they recommend is using a food processor. So I do have a food processor, but they recommend an 11 cup because it's quite a bit of mixture. And mine is like a 9-cupper, and I was worried. I'm queen of using too small a mixing bowl for any of my cooking, and I thought, you know what, I'm not going to do that this time. So they do have a workaround. I mean, I really appreciated, honestly, how detailed the directions and tips were at the King Arthur site. And so that is what I'm going to do. I'm going to use a stand mixer, and what they say to do is you'll put the ingredients all together. You'll put it on low for about 2 or 3 minutes until it's combined but has kind of small lumps, and then you'll use an immersion blender or a regular blender. The problem with using a regular blender is then you need to kind of do it in batches. Not that that's a problem, but it is getting a bit tedious. And so I thought I do have an immersion blender, so I'm going to use the immersion blender because you really want to get the lumps out, so that you get this super smooth texture in the end. So, guys, and anyone that's actually joining, oh, Joanne, hello. Oh, Joanne, how are you doing with your tech issues? Did everything get worked out? And of course, we can still get together if you need some help with that. I am not a professional. As you can see, it's still a little glitchy here on my stream, but I'm happy to try to work anything out that you want, for sure. So I was wondering about that. So Matthew's going to cook a roast with artichoke. Yeah, I'm noticing, because so on where I'm reading on the feed here, I can see the video and it looks like I'm doing this, doing a little shaking. So sorry about that. I'm actually not nervous, but it looks a little shaky. So apologies. But anyways, I digress. So Matthew is going to cook a roast with artichoke salad for Easter. I love artichokes. That's something actually I would like to do on stream sometime. I think artichokes, fresh, I mean, if you're doing them, like I use canned artichokes or frozen artichokes all the time, but I also love a good steamed artichoke dipped in whatever yummy sauce you want. In fact, I think one Easter I actually did that. I brought artichokes and steamed them, and I stuffed them. It was a Giada recipe. We stuffed them with I think gorgonzola cheese. Oh my goodness, they were amazing. Very rich, but absolutely amazing. I love artichokes. So that sounds delightful, Matthew. And Joanne, yeah, we're all going to Matt's house. Matt, you have enough room for us all? Yeah, Greg. I know, shake your foodie, right? Absolutely. Yes. So I will say, Joanne, per the iPhone, I'll talk a little bit about this now. I'm getting this cream cheese off. So for any of you that saw my iPhone streams the past 2 times, I did them 2 different ways. The first time I used the good camera, which is, so I faced the back of the camera. So like right now, the back of the camera is facing me because that's what I use to connect through it's called OBS on my laptop. And that way I can use my nice microphone. And in fact, I'll tell you about my birthday gifts I got because I'm super excited about them. But with all the tech issues I'm having, I couldn't bring myself to use them yet because I'm worried they're going to bring a whole host of other things. So all I'm doing right now, because this is a little glimpse on me, is I'm getting the extra cream cheese off of here because like I feel like it all amounts to a lot, so I don't want to miss anything. But back to Joanne. So Joanne, I noticed that if you have the back facing, you have a better camera, but the better microphone is on the front. So when I did that, my stream sounded a bit echoey. And the guys here can attest because I think they both were on there. It wasn't horrible, but it was a bit echoey. And then the second one, the one I did last week, and in fact, you can watch the past 2 and you can kind of see the difference. The second one, I used the better microphone. So I had my phone almost like a selfie facing me. So my camera that I'm using right now, it was facing the other way. So the good news is my sound was much better. It wasn't as good as this microphone, but it was pretty good. But the picture wasn't as good, which is absolutely what I expected. But I'll just say, woman to woman, while I recognize that the camera was not great, it kind of had a softening effect, almost like a filter, which I'm just going to be honest, I actually didn't mind at all, but I'm worried my viewers would mind. So I'm a bit flummoxed as to which is better if my laptop is not behaving. I don't know if it's better to have better sound or better to have better picture. For me, I feel like the sound is better because, sometimes when I watch YouTube videos, I might be doing something, so I'm not necessarily watching every single thing, but I'm more listening. But that's just me. I kind of feel like I would rather have my sound be a little better. So I've taken all of the cream cheese out and I scraped the foils. I'm not saying that's necessary, but that's just the kind of cook I am. And now I'm going to be adding to this sugar, salt, eggs, and heavy cream. So first of all, let's get our eggs. And so I don't have any bad eggs. I'm going to be adding them to a cup and then adding them to my mixture. And they just say, like, put it all together. So I'll put this here. So I hope that helps. And not to dissuade you, because actually, Joanne, I really do enjoy live streaming. It's just the technical stuff that just is a pain in the tush sometimes. So, but never hesitate to ask questions, because if I don't know, I can always ask my son, who is a techie, and he might have an answer. So let's see what I've missed. So Greg's talking, and Archie talked about drinking. So Greg, I will tell you that we were in Princeton yesterday, which is about, 45 minutes from Philly, Princeton, New Jersey. Yes, that's where Princeton University is. And anyways, we love going there. It is just a great small-ish college town to walk around in. There's cool shops. There is, and you saw me post a picture if you follow me on Twitter. By the way, if you're not following me on Twitter, Philly Philly Live is my Twitter handle, and I do a lot more interaction there just because I'm on Twitter more than I'm here on YouTube. But there's our favorite coffee place, Small World Coffee. That is just phenomenal coffee, and they actually our nearby market always gives an option of 3 different versions, or not version, 3 different grinds or roasts of their coffee, which I'm grateful for. But they also, it's a great foodie town. There are so many wonderful restaurants there. So I'm just gonna put these eggs in here, my 5 eggs, and then I want 3/4 cup of heavy cream. And again, I just took my products out to kind of start to come to room temperature so they weren't so cold. So I'm doing 3/4 cup. So we were in Princeton, and now I'm trying to remember. Oh, and this is why. So they have 2 great wine stores, Greg, in Princeton. And we always go in there and we look for unique things, and the owners or whoever is even there, like whoever they hire, they're just so knowledgeable, and I always learn lots of interesting things going there. So I'm going to hold off on the cream for a second, and I'll tell you why. Let me add my salt and sugar, and it's just something I'm kind of thinking that might help us get the smoothness we're looking forward to. So let me get my 1/2 cup sugar and my salt. But anyway, so I was in one of our favorite wine stores, because there are 2 there, and I'm talking to the fellow about champagne, and it was a delightful conversation. I was learning a lot. Meanwhile, Hubs was just checking out the rest of the store, and he has, and they have spirits there besides wine, and he found, in fact, Greg, I'll show you, because I don't know if you know this. I of course don't know bourbon, but he found this one bourbon because there's a fella in the company that's retiring, and he's told him this is his favorite bourbon, but it's hard to find. And so Andy happened upon it in the store. So how awesome was that? Because he's not seen it in any of the other stores that we usually frequent. So let me show you. So this fella that he works with, his it's called Uncle Nearest. I see I'm glitching. Again, I'm doing a little shaking. So Uncle Nearest, 1856. So anywho, that is what he's getting for retirement. Because he happened upon it and wanted to be able to pick it up while I got it. Okay, so now I'm back to what I was doing. So I'm putting in my 1/2 cup sugar. So I'm gonna do my 1/2 cup first.